Welcome back. The Galaxy lost 3-2 to the Houston Dynamo on Saturday for their third straight loss. LA trailed 2-1, but scored a goal in the 85th minute to even it up. It was short-lived, though, because Houston came back and scored in the 90th minute to win. A frustrating way to end the game, but losing late is nothing new to this team.
It's irritating. It's very irritating because after 5 minutes we conceded already a goal. Like the other games, we are chasing the goals, which is not normal. I mean, it became normal now for us, but shouldn't be normal. So it's not good. It's really not good. So either we wake up or we continue like this. But if we continue like this, we don't want the same objective. We don't want to win them.
It's definitely kind of lapses of concentration or, lapses of kind of we're conceding too much space for certain players. And they're good on the counter-attack, and we kind of pushed up a little bit too much, and they were going in behind every time they could. So they had their game plan, which kind of worked, but yeah, we're frustrated that once again we keep conceding silly goals.
I think we've shown character in terms of coming back. I think we've shown that ability, and last week we've shown that ability this week. But what this team needs to realize is this needs to hurt. It really needs to freaking hurt. And that pain needs to drive you so you don't have that pain again.
Strong words right there. We welcome in Adam Serrano, senior editor for LAGalaxy.com. She's got a nice ring to it, right? Senior editor. So listen, tough loss for the Galaxy. They play their way back into the game, but then give up a goal in the 90th minute. And we've seen this song and dance before. The past few seasons, this has been a theme, giving up goals late to lose. How does this continue to happen? Is it fixable?
You know what? I think it's something that this Galaxy team have to decide if they have the personnel to fix it. They brought in a lot of players. You look at Jurgen Shelvik, you look at Perry Kitchen, David Bingham. They brought in a lot of players to fix this problem, and we're still seeing these late lapses. And when you have lapses like this, you're having concentration issues, you're having mental breakdowns, and it's something about having a group have the fortification to sort of fix this issue. Yeah,
I like what Ziggy said when he said it has to hurt for you to make a change, because talking about it over and over again, it just falls on deaf ears, right? No one wants to hear it anymore. Everyone knows what needs to be done. Do you agree with him that it has to hurt to make a change?
It really does.
You have to care enough.
They have to get frustrated, and from that, they have to be able to try to find solutions, because this is happening time and time again. I asked Ashley Cole a couple weeks ago about what this team's defensive identity is, and he said, to give up 2 goals. And you have to have the right people on the field, the right leaders to fix this issue.
Do they have those leaders, guys that will hold others accountable?
They do. They have people with the right resumes. They have Ashley Cole. They have, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Giovanni Dos Santos, Perry Kitchen. They have all of these pieces, but yet this is still happening. And whether you can chalk that down to maybe they've had injuries, they haven't had time to mesh, it's starting to get into those summer months and starting to become an issue.
Listen, we see this in LA. We see this in LA. Listen, the Dodgers aren't off to a great start, right? But baseball, they play 162 games, so you never want to panic this early. I asked you a week ago, is it time to panic? You said absolutely not. What about now?
I think it is time to start to wonder, why is this happening? And I think it's time. The guys will say it, they have to stop these silly mistakes. They will say that they're ready and they're switched on and they have to be more concentrated. Well, it's time to start having some results. You can't just say it forever. And I think that that's something that we saw last season. It's something we saw maybe in years past when the team had some difficulties, particularly early and late in games. And now it has to hurt. They have to be able to fix those issues.
And here's the thing. The talent is there. So now you have to find the chemistry. Defensively, they need to start working together better. But if you're going to look at a positive, someone we've been very critical of here is Giovanni Dos Santos, because we haven't seen his best version. Well, the last 2 weeks, we're starting to see it. Is that a positive for you?
Definitely. I think that that's what you want to see from Gio. He is a player I mentioned is a veteran on this team and someone who they need to take some responsibility with. And I think that seeing him score some goals gives him a little bit of that edge, allows him to feel a little bit freer. And I think you're definitely seeing, with the additions of Ola, with Zlatan, take some pressure off of him so he's able to to do his thing. And I think that if the Galaxy can get more goals from him, particularly as he heads away, hopefully to Mexico for the World Cup, I mean, that has to be a positive.
All right, Adam, the issue has not just been at the end of games. The Galaxy have been giving up goals in bunches all season long. Entering Wednesday, they've given up 16 goals, which is tied for 4th most in the MLS. They also have scored 4 less goals than they've given up. Not a good trend 9 games through the season. It's hard to win games when you're getting outscored like the Galaxy are. And it's not just about the back line. So defensively, what do they need to do to get better?
I think they have to be more switched on. They have to be more present, because it is not just about the goalkeeper. It's not just about the back four. It's about your defending in the midfield. It's about not losing duels. It's about not losing the ball and having costly errors upfield. It's about having other players, attacking players, show a little bit more industry in winning the ball back. I think that that's also something that we haven't really seen from this team. They've been able to give up costly errors in midfield and then kind of hangs their defenders out to dry sometimes. So, I mean, this all starts up front. It's not just the back four.
We saw Jonathan Dos Santos get subbed in during that match. How much have they missed him? Does he help these kinds of things? And when do you expect him to play the full 90?
I expect him to play the full 90 as soon as this Dallas game. I think he has to get back into the swing of things, particularly with the World Cup announcement looming. Whenever that comes from Mexico, he's got to be ready. So I think you need to see that soon. But you already saw when he came on the field with Houston, the team was a little bit more dynamic, but they had to change the way they were playing. Yeah. And they kind of saw a differentiation from the formation they've been using for the last 2 games. So they have to figure out a way to put him into that hole and allow him to operate and be his self, where he's able to win balls, where he's able to, find the attackers. So he has the talent. They have to figure out how to use him, though.
You're always going to be my Galaxy insider. Nice work, Adam. Coming up on Access Sportsnet, from paintballing to Disneyland, Paul George has been spending a lot of time in LA this offseason. But is he here to stay? We'll discuss ahead. Plus, the Black Mamba may be retired, but he still has his eyes on the purple and gold. Up next, Kobe Bryant talks about the options the Lakers have on their table this summer.